There was the last time I ever played Minecraft with the mate who got me into it. The two of us in one world, building something stupid, voice chat open till 2 AM, the way we did basically every weekend. And then one night, one of us just logged off. And we never loaded that world back up together again. There was no last session. Nobody said, this is the one. It just quietly became a thing we used to do. And I couldn't tell you which night was the last one if you paid me. It wasn't a moment, it was just a normal weekend that happened to be the final weekend, and neither of us had a clue. I think about that a lot, because it turns out almost everything ends like that. Not with a goodbye, just quietly, somewhere behind you, without telling you. And maybe yours isn't a person. Maybe it's the game itself, because there was the last time you loaded up a world as a kid and the whole thing still felt enormous. When the sun going down and there actually got to you, you'd build something stupid and stand there proud of it, and 4 hours would vanish and feel like 20 minutes. There was a final afternoon, it felt like that, and you don't remember it. The version of you that could disappear into it like that, left without a word. And now, if you even play at all, it's with a video running over the top, same as the one you're watching right now. And it's not only the soft, obvious stuff. There was a final evening, the whole street was out playing until the lights came on. And not one of you knew it was the final one. There was the last time you saw someone who was your entire world back then, and you said see you later, and you meant it. And you were wrong. And you had no clue. We picture endings like they come with the ceremony, a proper goodbye, but most of the important stuff in your life already ended on a completely ordinary day you've since forgotten, because at the time it didn't feel like an ending at all. It felt like a normal afternoon. The endings we brace for are the loud ones. A funeral you can see coming, the last day of school. Those ones we actually get to feel, because we know they're arriving, and we get to stand there and do it properly. But those are almost nothing. They're rounding error, next to the thousands of quiet last times that just slip past you while you're thinking about something else. You can't grieve those ones. You can't miss them while they're happening, because you never knew the moment was the moment. And once that lands, here's the uncomfortable bit. It means it's happening right now. This week, you are doing some things for the last time, and you have no idea which ones. There's a person whose laugh you've already heard for the last time and you didn't write it down. There's a friend who texts you first, and there's going to be a final time they do it, and you won't notice the gap opening because it opens slowly. It's all mixed in with the boring stuff. There's no alarm that goes off. And because you don't know, you half show up for them. That's the thing that actually gets me. You spend the last time you'll ever do something a bit annoyed that you have to do it, rushing it to get back to your phone, wishing you were with someone else, or wishing you were somewhere else. The last real conversation you ever had with someone you've now drifted from, you were probably barely listening, because how could you have known? Nothing told you. The reason we live like this is that your mind quietly lies to you about how much time is left. It tells you there's always more weekends back home, more chances to pick up the phone and call the person you keep meaning to call, and it has to tell you that. Because if you actually felt how finite every single one of these was, you'd never get off the floor. So your brain rounds it up to infinite, and it's right for a while. There's more and more and more, until one day there just isn't. And the moment it flips from plenty left over to that was the last one, it happens in total silence, behind you, where you can't get back to it. So I want to be careful here, because the cheap version of this video tells you to treat every moment like it's sacred and hug everyone like it's the end of the world. You can't do that. Nobody can. You'd lose your mind by lunchtime. That's not the takeaway. The takeaway is smaller, and I think more useful. You can't know which times are the last times, but you can stop being so certain there's always another one coming. Just loosen that a little, because here's the part that isn't bleak. A lot of these last times haven't happened yet. The people are still alive, the friend is still one message away. Even if it's been a year, even if it's gone a bit weird, the world is still installed on your computer. You're not just surrounded by the endings you already missed. You're standing in the middle of a whole pile of them that haven't happened yet, that you still get a say in. So the move isn't some grand gesture. Next time you're doing something completely ordinary with someone who matters and you feel yourself wanting to rush it or check out, just be in it for that one time. The boring version of it. That's the whole thing. And the bigger one, the one I'd actually push you on, that person you keep meaning to message where it feels too late and too awkward now. The awkwardness you're feeling is just the size of the gap. And the gap only ever gets bigger while you sit there waiting. You can still reach back across it. You can make one of those last times turn out not to be the last one. You can load the world back up before it quietly becomes a thing you used to do. And I'll be straight with you, I'm bad at this. That mate from the start of the video, the one who got me into Minecraft, I let that one fade out, not in a dramatic way. Messaging first just started to feel strange, and I kept telling myself there was time. There was time, right up until there wasn't. And now I could not tell you when the last proper conversation was. It's just back there somewhere, unmarked like all the rest of them. I'd have made it count if anyone had warned me it was the last one, but that's the whole problem. Nobody warns you. You're going to keep missing most of them. I'm not going to pretend you won't, because you will. That's just the deal. But you can catch a few if you stop believing the supply is endless. So somewhere in this ordinary, boring week, there's a last time sitting there that you could still turn into a not last. The world's still installed. The person is still there. Go open it back up one more time, on purpose, while it's still your choice and not something you find out about years too late. So tell me in the comments, what's the thing you'd give anything to do one more time that you never knew was the last?